नमः हरि ओम ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांतिः. So we saw from the state of Nalini, the Nari Stanahara, the women, etc., which you see, the objects which you see in front of you, is not an object which you should be attached to. Okay. Then he went on to say, this body sense organ complex which you see is not something which you should be attached to. Okay. Why? Because it is very futile. It is fickle. So that he said. Then I am not attached to this body sense organ complex, but the others are attached to this body sense organ complex. That is answered by no. No one is attached to you, because only until you are capable of earning money, wealth, something which provide, it need not be money. It can be anything which you provide to them to make them happy. So until you are capable of providing with them with whatever they expect from you, till then they care about you. They care of you, they are attached to you. Okay. When your body is weak, when you are not able to provide whatever they expect from you, at that point of time, Vartam Kopina Pruchati Gehe. No one in the home will ask about you. No one will even recognize you exist. You are just sidelined. The important decisions are not taking you under consideration. No. It will be that is how the importance is given. Okay. So therefore, even the excuse of others having attachment to you is not possible. Okay. So then, no. In my house, they treat me very well. Yes, there are some houses, this is general idea. There are some houses where the elders are taken care of in a proper way. Okay, we are not negating that. Even in that house, when the person breathes his last breath, when he dies, that very body which they were attached to becomes a burden. You have to see the rituals which they follow in a Brahmin community, especially in South India. Yesterday I said, if a person is dead in a house, they won't cook. If it is in an agrahara, if it is in the row which is related to the temple, close to the temple, they won't open the temple. There won't be any puja in the temple. They won't cook in anybody's house. They will insist upon you removing the body immediately. No, my son has to come from America. No, that is another issue now. My son has to come from America and he has to book a ticket for tomorrow, and he starts tomorrow. He comes to India one day again, so 2 days, so 3. These are all some practical difficulties which are taken into consideration in today's world. These are taken into consideration. Some people don't even bring the body to home. They keep it in mortuary. Now, if there is no one abroad, they are in some other city, which takes at least 10-12 hours to come to reach this place. Even then, there are difficulties. Overnight, you cannot keep the body. If you keep the body overnight, the people in the house should not sleep. They should be awake. with the body. Body is not awake, but you have to be awake. These are all problems. I was awake when my grandfather popped off. I was there, and I was awake the whole night. There was this gentleman who, at regular intervals, sent tea from shop. Regular intervals, 1 hour or so, he'll send a tea. So, okay. And they will tie a rope made of coir rope, not thick, not tie here. So it is to be tied on the thumb of your leg, toe of your leg. You just tie it, and it should be put outside. What will happen? What this is it for? It is all unnecessary to explain these things, but that is how it is done. And see, in olden days, we didn't have this electricity thing. We have to switch on we have to lit the lamp. So after it becomes a little dark, lighting a lamp will be, you will be afraid. So what they do is they keep a lamp lit 24/7 for that next 13 days. There will always be a lamp in the corner of the home. They will give an explanation saying that the dead person, when he comes, he'll use his cell phone to see whatever. But no, we need to put that light for him, because it is according to the Shastra. What they say is, this person is attached to this body. Because he is attached to the body, he is attached to the family. Because he is attached to that family, he is not ready to cross over from this world to the other world. He is roaming around here. And that is why you need to listen to these stories. He will be offered food. The dead one will be offered food. The food will not have any salt. For a person who loves salt, that is why I am specifically seeing. A person will not be offered food with salt. Why? There is a saying in Tamil: a saltless food is worth only in the dustbin. It is not worth on your plate. You have to throw it in the dustbin. It cannot be consumed. Now, similarly, this fellow, he is given saltless food. What? There is no salt. So he will be dejected by your treatment. So he will go away from here. But these need not be really true. I'll tell you a story. Once it happened so, one Swami was invited from Rishikesh to Vrindavan. So he is traveling the whole night to Vrindavan, and arrangements were made for his stay. And the food also they have arranged for a food, not in an ashram. Devotee there has accepted to cook food for this person. Okay, everything done. So that Swami, he comes from Rishikesh, who has diabetes and cholesterol, this, that, whatever. You have a list, tick, 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 tick. That's a tick in all. Okay. Now he is here in this place. High blood pressure, everything in high. Good. Now this fellow is invited. This Swami is invited. He is sitting. And next to him is sitting this Swami who invited him. They are both being served food by that house owner. And this person who has come from, this Swami who has come from Rishikesh, he is like looking at the other Swami who had invited him. And that Swami is peacefully It's very tasty, very good, very good, very good. And the Rishikesh Swami was like, what tasty? There is no salt, there is no chili here in this. He loves to bite chili while he eats. And there is no chili in the food. There is no salt in the food. He's like, and he cannot complain. Why? Because the one who is sitting next to him is eating, enjoying it without any complaint and complimenting the food. Now he is in a situation. I cannot complain because see, what a great Mahatma this fellow is. My friend is a very great sadhu. See, he does not even care about the salt and chili in this spice in this food. He's just enjoying it. Oh, I'm ashamed to be like this. So he didn't say anything. After the food, he washed his hand and he could not. He's a very good man. He could not keep it in his heart. The moment they came out, he said, I salute you. Why? What happened? I really salute you. You are a great sadhu. What happened to you? How did you realize this immediately now after this food? That is the reason. You ate this food which is saltless, which is spiceless, enjoying it. I could not eat it, but I could not say anything because you are. This fellow let out the secret. He said, no, my food had spice and salt. Only your food. I specially made them to. You scoundrel. How could you? The previous moment he was a great sadhu. Now, you scoundrel, how could you treat me like this? You invited me to give me a spiceless, saltless food. So this can also happen. So this dead person, he should not have any attachment to this world. So their relationship should be over. So what they do is they offer these kind of things and do these kind of things. And there is a proper ritual. It is not just feeding him with saltless food. It is not just that. There are proper rituals every day. Every day. They start generally in the first day or third day or seventh day. After that, it is every day. And every day, there is a proper ritual where the Brahmins are invited and he performs thus sending this dead person from one world to the other world. From one world to the other world. Strange. Beautiful transformation it is. And I think, like in this South Korea, they also follow this kind of thing. They also say that they may not have this kind of rituals, detailed rituals, but they do have some rituals. And they say this dead person travels to the other world. It takes 50 days for him. So in between that, he can come in the dream of the living, related. I don't know about that, but because we have only 13-day period, the window period is 13 days. So after that, he is sent to the different worlds. So from the 11th day, it changes. I don't know. I saw one of my dead disciple and my dead friend on the 11th day. I don't breathe. And they came in a vivid dream. Vivid dream. So I think it is the 11th day as per my experience. Now let it be so. So this fellow, when he is dead, they keep the dead body on top of their head. They'll have the dead body's head on the south side. The dead body's head will be on the south side. There is a beautiful so one fellow, he invited the other to south. When are you coming to south? So it is not when are you coming to south? South, when? Something like that he said. So this fellow is a pun intended fellow. He said, Oh, do you want to lay me down immediately now? Now? It was like, what is happening? It took 2 seconds for him to understand. In Malayalam, he asked her, Swami, tekko teppa, tekko teppada. He said, Enda kedathano. Do you want me to lay me down now? So you put the head on the south side. Okay. Then they apply turmeric. They put turmeric around the body. I was like, what is that ritual? Turmeric, applying turmeric around the body. Such a beautiful thing. The ants will be attracted to the body. It should be avoided. A. B. The dead body is going to decompose. There is going to be some problem or other, some disease or other which is going to spread. That is also going to be taken care of. Turmeric. Beautiful system. Each, they don't give any explanation. But if we want to see any scientific explanation, this is what we have to give. But everything is so structurally done, beautifully done. We can't even imagine how did they know all this. After they burn, the next day, you have to collect some bones and immerse in the sea or ocean or river, anything. So while collecting, nowadays it is 1 hour. Previously it was 1 day. So electric crematorium they'll give you. While collecting it, you have to wear a kind of they call it kandan katri. It is a kind of small seeded eggplant, kind of small ones. So they dry it and they tie it around your hand, and they use milk to pour. The milk should be poured through your hand and on this ash, and you have to collect from that the bones. Why milk? Oh, this is to help him to travel through the milky ocean. That is the explanation they are going to give you. But this vegetable, dried vegetable, and this milk are very potent antiseptic, anti-inflammatory. You are going to pick this bone. Some or other bone is going to prick you. While you pick, it's going to pick on you. So you should not have any septic or any other reaction. So beautiful things. So okay. So this is how you treat the person after death. Yesterday, like I said, they take a bath and forget about you. The next thing they think about is the food. So after that he says, okay, then you are talking about someone who is going to die later. Why are you talking about death even now? You can talk about that, something else. No, the problem is we don't talk about the self at any point of time. This is Bhagavan is showing his sorrow, his pity towards us. What kind of people we are. So with that sorrow state of mind, he is saying this. Balastavat krida saktah. Balastavat krida saktah. Balastavat krida saktah. Tarunastavat taruni saktah. Tarunastavat taruni saktah. Tarunastavat taruni saktah. Vriddhastavat chinta saktah. Vriddhastavat chinta saktah. Vriddhastavat chinta saktah. Parame brahmani kopi na saktah. Parame brahmani kopi na saktah. Parame brahmani kopi na saktah. So, Balastavat krida saktah. Tarunastavat taruni saktah. Vriddhastavat chinta saktah. Parame brahmani kopi na saktah. 3 periods of our life. Psychologists say child psychology, adolescent psychology, and adult psychology. That's how they divide three types of psychology: child, adolescent, and adult. That is what he is also talking about. So, in the three periods of time, because these are the formative area periods. So, in these three periods of time, what is our thought process? What do we think? Balastavat krida sakta. Balaha means a kid, child. So, a child, tavat. So, a child at that period of time, krida sakta, is involved in the games, plays. He is not serious about anything. He is just involved in the games. That is why there is no karma associated for the kids. There is no karma for the kids. If like we saw in the beginning, if a person dies, we have to do all these rituals. But if a child dies, there is no ritual. You just wrap it in a white cloth and go and bury it. You don't burn it. Only a person who is initiated into the sacred thread is burnt. After a particular age, he is burnt. A child is never burnt. They just wrap it in a cloth and then bury it. So, because idea of right, wrong, etc. There is no idea of the world, its cunningness, etc. No. That is why there is no sin or punya associated, papa or punya, sin or merit or demerit associate for the child. If the child does something wrong, if we do something wrong, we are going to incur papa. If we are going to do something good, we are going to incur punya. But if a child at the same time is going to do something good or bad, it is not going to incur any punya or papa. It is not added in its account. Because all that is instinctual. It is not doing because it knows it is good and it is bad. It is doing it because of the past karmas. My thought imprints of the past. That is why even without teaching, we say it is instinct, it's animal instincts, etc. Even without teaching, a child knows how to suck from the mother's bosom. This is something which is unimaginable, because you give a old person and ask him to suck from that nipple, the bottled milk. He does not know how to do that. He does not know how to drink this water from the bottles which have this kind of cap, the players, footballers thing. Don't know. How does this child know how to suck the milk? It's a strange thing. And the mother cannot teach it. The mother doesn't teach it. Doesn't need to teach it. So these are all, it's not instinct as they say, it is the samskara of the thought imprints of the past. We carry it. We have been through this cycle of birth and death again and again and again and again. Therefore, we know these things. So, it naturally takes place. That is why we say there is no karma incurred by good or bad. It doesn't really matter. There is no karma incurred by this child. So, what does he do? He does not have the discrimination or dispassion that is prerequisite, required for inquiry into the self. He does not have. So, what does he do? He is involved in the games of the world. He just plays around. So, he engrosses himself in playing. Balastavat krida sakta. Then, the next, tarunastavat taruni sakta. Taruna means the adolescent. At the young age, this boy or this girl is involved with the girl or boy. It is just, it is not that he should always be. It is he is involved with the things of the world. The sense organs pleasures, whatever they are, he is involved in that. He gets attracted to that and he is involved in that. Tarunas tavat taruni sakta. So, though he may have the capacity to understand the world, the self, though he may have the capacity to understand the world and the self, he is not interested in it. He is interested only in the ways of the world. So, therefore, he is involved in the activities of the sense pleasures. Tarunas tavat taruni sakta. And generally, tarunaha, young boy, tavat. So, what happens to the young boy? Taruni sakta. He is involved with the girl. Young boy is involved with the girl. It is not just that. It can be understood as the other sense organ pleasures. So, he is involved in that. Vriddhastavat chinta saktah. Vriddhastavat chinta saktah. Vriddha means old age. The old age, in the old man or woman, they are always, what do they do? Chinta saktah. Chinta saktah means they always are engrossed in thinking. Thinking about something or other. Why is this fellow honking here? Why is this fellow parking this car here? There is no need for thinking about any of that. Somebody is honking, he has some issue somewhere, so he is calling someone from the other house. This old person cannot stay there peacefully. Why is he doing it in front of my house? That is road. Your road is in front. Your house is in front of the road. No. Why is he honking in front of my house? Some or other issues they always have to think. Yesterday I said they need someone to talk to. Why? Because their mind is never quite at peace. It was always engrossed in thinking something or other. It's there, always coming. Unending thoughts. And there is no peace. Therefore, there is no sleep. And therefore, they are into different things which avoid thinking. They think. To avoid thinking, they do different things. But instead of avoiding the thoughts, they are these things these activities which they are engrossed in, that create more thought impressions. So, they are always thinking about something or other of the world. The kid, he does not know anything to think. He does not have anything to think about. Therefore, he is not interested in the self. The old person, he is always thinking about something or other. Therefore, he is not interested in the self. In the midlife crisis starts, and they are involved in different things of the world. So, that fellow is also not interested in the self. So, at any point of time, there is no interest in the self. Like I said yesterday, young, why are you are only so young? Why do you want to study Bhagavad Gita and all this now? Okay. No. Marriage? No. After child? Only now you have child. Okay. After child's education? Okay. Child's marriage? Married. His son or daughter? Okay. Their education? Their marriage? It is unending. Never will you find any free time to think about self. And that is why, with a very, very heavy heart, the first time I read this, I told you that I was doing this one sloka at a time. I was thinking, meditating on this while I did this text. I loved this text so much. That is why I brought it to Ireland. I loved it so much. This line, when I first studied, I was literally crying. No, not literally. I was crying. Why do you have to figuratively put this and that? I was crying. I was saying, what kind of person he is? He is so worried about us. Parame Brahmani kopi na sakta hai. There is no one who is interested in the absolute self. There is no one attached to the absolute self. There is no one interested in the absolute self. What kind of people we are? What kind of person he is seen by that statement. That causeless compassion. Oh, why are these people not interested in the self? But what about us? Why are we not interested in the self? Why are we giving him such a pain? Parame Brahmani kopi na sakta. So at no point of time, I am talking about not us, because we entered the Shastra. Though this is the first baby step, we are not in the Balastavat Krida Sakta, Tarunastavat Tarni Sakta, Chintastavat Chinta Sakta at least. But we are not yet Parame Brahmani Kopi na Saktaha. Sakta means to be attached. We are not still attached with the Brahman. We have our own dilly-dallying, to say that. So, he says, Parame Brahmani Kopi na Sakta. No one is interested in the absolute self. No one. It becomes a time pass kind of thing. Okay. But you can say all that. Why we are not interested in the self, only we know. How can I give up my family and things like that? Like you are a monk and you are a sannyasi, you can do all that. But how can we do all that? What is that which is holding you here? Kate kanta kaste putraha. Kate kanta kaste putraha. Kate kanta kaste putraha. Samsaro yamativa vichitraha. Samsaro yamativa vichitraha. Samsaro yamativa vichitraha. Kasyat, again, Kate kanta kaste putraha. Samsaro yamativa vichitraha. Why I am reading this is it's a beautiful sloka. It's a very beautiful sloka. The others are, yes, of course, but this is a very beautiful sloka. You will understand that. Kasyatvam kaha kuta ayataha. Kasyatvam kaha kuta ayataha. Kasyatvam kaha kuta ayataha. Ayataha. Statvam, not statvam. It is tattvam. Tattvam chinta, that ayatas, it becomes ayatas, ayataha. Tattvam chintayata tadiha bhrataha. Tattvam chintayata diha bhrataha. Tattvam chintayata diha bhrataha. Kasyatvam kaha kuta ayataha. Tattvam chintayata diha bhrataha. First. Kate kanta kaste putraha. Samsaro yamativa vichitraha. Kasyatvam kaha kuta ayataha. Tattvam chintayata diha bhrataha. Bhrataha. Bhrataha means, oh brother. Bhrata means brother. Oh brother. Bhagavan is calling us brothers. Oh brother. Okay. Oh brother. Oh bro, come on. Kate kanta kaste putra. Okay, what is that which is tying you to this world? Wife? Kids? Okay. Kate kanta. Who is your lady love? Who is your wife? Whom are you referring to as wife? Kate kanta, instead of kanta, you can ask, put it as husband. Who is your husband? Who is your wife and who is your husband? Next he is asking, Kaste putra, who is your son? What question is this? Who is your son? If you don't know, ask me. This is my wife, this is my husband, this is my son. I'll introduce you to them. What is this question here? This relationship of husband, wife, kid, etc. Who were there before you were born? What? Okay. Who were there after you are not born? You die. After that, what happens to them? What is your relationship to them? Very rarely do we have this person being born in the same family or somewhere related. Very rarely. Remembering the old family. That something like that similarly happened in UP, Uttar Pradesh. One boy of 11 years. He was telling his parents, I want to see my wife. 11 years, what wife? My brothers killed me. I want to go and meet my wife. I want to get whatever she lost to my brothers. My brothers killed me for my property. What is that? No, I belong to this village. Take me to that village. And this fellow's trouble, he was causing trouble every day, and they said, okay, let us take him to this village. That's a village, there is a village. And he does not know that village there, and he could have not heard it from anywhere. They decide to take him to that village. Said, okay, to the right, fourth house, that is my house, let us go. He goes to that house and knocks on the door, and this lady opens the door and says, Sarita, whatever her name is, Sarita, this is my wife. This is my wife. Do you believe me now? That lady says, I am Sarita, but I am not your wife. What is this? What's happening with you guys? He says, Sarita, don't you remember me? How can I remember this kid? I don't even know him. Then he talks about their past and the brother and all that. No one, this fellow cannot know about their family feud. He talks about everything. Then she understands, no, what will be their relationship? Will he be accepted as the husband or not? How can it be? So, the relationship which we call as a husband, wife, mother, father, etc., didn't even exist before and doesn't exist after. Like I said, we'll throw him out of this world to the other world. Come on, go. Don't stay here. If you stay here, you won't get a moksha, liberation, at least from this world. You won't get heaven. So go to heaven. Every religion has some ritual or other to send people from this world to the other world. No religion accepts people to stay in this world. Let them stay. What is your problem? They are not going to take any place, any space. They are going to not say, this is my house, this is my parking space. No. They are not going to claim anything. Let them live. No. We can't allow them. Go. So, we don't allow the dead peoples to stay here. We don't have any association with the past related people after we are dead, because they have sent us packing. And we don't have any association with the future relationships. So, this relationship which you give so much of importance to, what is that? Because even here in this world, in the dream or in the deep sleep, we don't have any of this relationship. If the relationship is so true, then we should have that, we should remember that in the dream and deep sleep. In dream, when we are dreaming about something, this fellow comes. What are you dreaming? Why are you in my dream? We won't allow him in our dream. Why are you in my dream? Get lost. Even there. It's a big problem. But still, this is not true even in this level, in this world. When it is so, how can you relate to the other life, past and future? So that is why he is asking, whom are you talking about as wife and whom are you referring to as son? Kate kanta kaste putra hai. I don't really understand. Yes, but in this life, in this life, if you, I explained already that person whom you love and whom you are related to is not in the dream and deep sleep. It's not in the dream and deep sleep. You don't experience them in dream and deep sleep. Why so? Samsaro yamativa vichitra, strange. What is strange? It's not just strange. Ativa vichitra, very strange. What? Samsara. Samsara. This samsara is very strange. The ways of this samsara is very strange. We are attached to something which is not there, which will not be there, which is only transient, only there existing when we are saying that we are attached to. In a family, when two people, brothers who are related to each other, when they have a fight, there's no relationship. I don't care about what he is doing. No, that is the situation. When in this very world, when we are not bothered about what they are doing and what they are not doing, in the past and future, what will happen? This is a strange world, strange world. That is why he says samsaro yamativa vichitraha. Okay, so what do you want to say me? So that he says, kasya tvam kaha kuta ayatah. Kasya tvam should be associated with each of these words. Tvam means you. Tvam means you. Kasya tvam. Kasya is sixth case. Kasya, to whom do you belong to? Kasya tvam, to whom do you belong to? Kahatam, who are you? Kuta ayatah, where did you come from? Kuta ayatah tvam. Tam kuta ayatah, where did you come from? So, who are you? Where did you come from? These questions need an answer. Because we said, I am the brother, they are all relationship. We don't even really know that this is my brother or my sister. Sometimes there may be a swap in the hospital. Mismanagement. We brought a son or daughter. We don't even know that whether it is our son or daughter. We are giving it importance. And we are attached to that son and that daughter. And after 20 years or 25 years, you understand when there is a DNA test, you understand this is not your son. And that happens there also. They come to you. But still, you are not attached to your blood son. You are attached to this son who you loved for all these years. How strange it will be. How strange it is. Really. After 20 years of loving someone, if you understand that he is not son, your love is not going to be lost overnight. No. Nor if somebody comes and stands before you, I am your son. Get lost. You may have love, but that is not equivalent to the son which you are taking care of. Never. How strange that will be. Did really my doctor or nurse gave me my own son? Now we have to think. Okay. Kasyatvam kaha kuta ayatah. Kaha kuta ayatah. Kasyatvam, whom do you belong to? Okay. Who are you? Who are you really is not who you are. It is who am I? It's a question. It's a rhetorical question. We have to ask ourselves, who am I? Where did I come from? What is all this? It's a simple question. Any idiot who enters this, he will ask. Any idiot who wants to know the truth about himself, he will ask. Who am I? What is my purpose? What will happen after my death? What if I die now? So these are basic questions which will rise. Basic questions. Any idiot said, I said, so you are among them. So don't be happy about it. Every idiot who enters this field should have this question. This is unsolvable question through any which way. It is only solvable through Shastra. So, what should I do? Tattvam chintaya tad iha bhrata. Oh brother, tattvam chintaya tad iha. Tad iha tvam chintaya. Tad iha, that this here, that here, that these questions here, you have to think about it. Think about these questions. You are thinking about the whole world, everything other than yourself. Take some time and think about yourself. Who am I? What am I doing here? Why am I here? What is my purpose? What will happen to me after I die? All these questions, unsolved questions. And we are not really interested in solving it. We'll just under the carpet. And okay, so when is the food? Next thought. Immediately we dissolve these questions in the next thought of food and other experiences. So he says, Bhrata, brother, oh brother. After worrying about us, he says, brother. No one is interested in Brahman. After saying that, he says, oh brother, why don't you? Oh sister, also that can also be there. So he can call us, oh sister, why don't you think about that? Tattvam asi. There, tattvam asi. So that tattvam is here. Tattvam, that you, or tattvam means the truth. Tattvam, one word is truth. Tattvam means if it is broken as two words, that you. You think about that here. Okay? Tattvam chintaya tadiha bhrata. Beautiful. So, Kate Kanta, what are you worried about? This is my son, this is my father, this is my this is my that. All these relationship never existed before. Like there was this smart kid. I'll use only smart kid, okay? I'm not going to say anything else. Smart kid, let us put it as smart kid. So his father, like, his parents, like, it's happening on the road. He wants something. And he said, this father said, father or mother, like, they, out of anger, they said, you are my son. You have to listen to me. Then that kid, if I am not born to you, you will not be dad and mother. I was like, a kid, small kid. And what does he say? If I am not born, you call yourself mother and father. If I am not born to you, you are not eligible for that mother and father. I was like, wow, this fellow is really smart. See, it was just not, he just put that straight on face. And what he said is absolutely true. We think we give birth to that child. But what does he say? I gave birth to you. You didn't give birth to me. I gave birth to you. I made you parents. Good. After hearing this, I was thinking, right, it is not only they gave birth to him. He also gave birth to them, making them parents. Oh, that kid is a very smart kid. So, like that, we have to think about our existence. Okay. So, from here, from 3rd shloka till 8th shloka, we are in the 8th shloka. So, 3rd shloka till 8th shloka, we said we are going to discuss about 2 words, 2 points. One is in the 2nd shloka, Jahihi dhanagama trishnam. Jahihi dhanagama trishnam. Burn, give up the thirst for gaining more wealth. Okay, that is taken care of. Second is manasi vitrishnam, the thirst in your mind. The thirst, the desire in your mind. Burn that. So, dhanagama trishnam and objects of the world and the thirst for the objects. Both. So, they look similar. Dhanagama trishnam and manasi vitrishnam. What is that? So, there are 2 things. One is the objects of the world and the desire for the objects of the world. Give up both. So, that, how do I give up? So, he is giving stage by stage. The external world, you have to understand. it to be this. This body sense organ complex, you have to understand it to be so. So each level, but the others think about this body and sense organ complex, that has to be given up thinking about this. So in young, middle and old age, we don't think about anything about the self, we think about everything else. So after saying that, finally he said, oh, this relationship which you are talking about, which you are speaking about in a big way, all that relationship didn't exist before and don't exist after. So thinking about these things, oh brother, start thinking about yourself, your truth, your reality, who you are, tattvam. What is your real substance, who you are? So start thinking about that. Okay. Okay, what? Okay, I'll think. How will you think? How do you propose I should think? Okay, tell me that. So ninth question, ninth shloka is a Kuru Sadbuddhim. Kuru Sadbuddhim is discussed in the ninth shloka. It's a beautiful shloka. It's a condensed way of saying everything. Satsangatve nissangatvam. Sangatve nissangatvam. Satsangatve nissangatvam. Satsangatve nissangatvam. Nissangatve nischalatattvam. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. Satsangatve nissangatvam. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. Satsangatve nissangatvam. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve nischalatattvam. Nirmohatve nischalatattvam. Nirmohatve nischalatattvam. Nischalatatve jivan muktihi. Nischalatatve jivan muktihi. Nischalatatve jivan muktihi. Nirmohatve nischalatattvam. Nischalatatve jivan muktihi. Nirmohatve nischalatattvam. Nischalatatve jivan muktihi. From the beginning. Satsangatve nissangatvam. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve nischalatattvam. Nischalatatve jivan muktihi. Beautiful. Every stage he is taking us through every stage of our spiritual journey. How do I do the spiritual journey? Give up everything and go into the forest and start meditating. Start meditating on what? Meditating. That's all. We don't know what to meditate, but we talk about big about meditation. What kind of great idiots we are. What will you gain by meditating in the world? What do you think you will gain by meditating in the forest after running away from here? A, you will become crazy. B, you will start hallucinating. C, you will run away from there and do whatever you didn't want to. Only these possibilities remain. I don't understand. Okay, I'll explain this. There was this boy, a very good boy, young boy, who stayed in forest doing meditation, whatever he did. And he started eating leaves and things like that. He was staying in forest alone. Ran away from the home and stayed in forest alone. Started eating leaves and this and that and developed ulcer. This is boy number one. Developed ulcer. So after the pain in the stomach, he came out of the forest and the doctor said you have ulcer and it has to be treated. So he had to stay in Rishikesh. And he used to come to the place where I used to eat for a brief period of time in the afternoon. That fellow was a Vairagi who used to give food to quite a number of people, rotis. With roti, he used to serve dal, lentils. The problem is, this fellow cannot eat lentils, salt, or even little bit of spice is hurting him. So he does not want it. So what I did is, I told the one who was serving, who is the owner, that sadhu, I told him, why don't you give him sugar or jaggery? That fellow, a very strict sadhu, he said, I cannot provide jaggery or sugar to one person individually. That is, they call it pankti bheda, means that is differentiating one from other. Racism. Food racism. He doesn't want to do it. He's a good person. I said, don't be. You don't have to. We are not worried about you serving him specially. Give him. No, I cannot do it. Even though you accept, I cannot do it. Okay, give everyone jaggery. We are not going to complain. He said, no. I said, see, this fellow has problem. You are not giving him jaggery, you are giving him medicine. So treat him as a person with problem and treat him with that idea and give him jaggery. We are not going to complain. Oh, this is very good. You have to be given some logic. So he gave. So this fellow was staying there for some time. And I stopped going to that place, and I didn't see this boy also for quite some time. Suddenly one day I saw this boy sitting in front of one cooperative bank next to this police station in Rishikesh. He's sitting on these steps. I was running for my Bhiksha. I had a very tight schedule. I have to run from my class, go to the room, keep the book, take my vessels, and go to the Bhiksha, run back, keep the vessel, go to the class. It was tight schedule. At that point of time, when I was running, I saw this boy staying there. So he was like, I came back after taking the Bhiksha. I came back. I asked him, hello, how are you? He was like, he was deeply looking into the sky. Khasuchi, we call it as in Sanskrit, khasuchi. Looking at nothing. I said, did you eat anything? Do you want rotis? No answer. Then I went to the opposite shop. There was a tea shop. I don't know if it is still there. So I went to that person and said, you have seen me, right? Yes, I know you are staying here. Okay, so I don't have any money on me, but I want a biscuit packet and a tea. Can you give that? I'll give you money later. This fellow, I don't think he has. So give me in a paper cup and oh, you don't worry about money, first take this. Very good person. Gave me the biscuit and tea, and I took it to him and gave him. Does not even recognize that. Poor fellow. Gone crazy. A. B. Another boy. A very tall, lanky, dark, curly haired fellow with big, beautiful, big eyes from a place called Belur in Tamil Nadu, close to Chennai. This fellow started doing sadhana on his own, not taking anything from his guru, doing whatever he thought is right. He was practicing that. And suddenly I see him one day on the road. These are all some strange ideas which they pick from movies. Where you blabber something, that fellow is, I was in a car. This fellow gone crazy. Okay. Then they took him to another uh, mm, old age come orphanage kind of place run by Shivananda Ashram. He's still there, I think. If he's alive, he's there. His eyes are completely gone. Some cold or something affected the mucus in the brain. It started eating the nerves, and he lost his eye and his teeth at a very young age. Poor fellow. Poor fellow. Pity. Okay. So, I was traveling in a car with some people, and they said, this fellow is a very great Siddha. I looked through the window and I saw a beggar. So, what? Who are you calling a Siddha? This fellow. How did you recognize that he is a Siddha? I only see a crazy beggar. How do you recognize? You see, he has not taken bath for so many days. I said, the pig does not take bath for so many days and it is in the ditch. Can I go and do namaskar to that pig? What kind of idiots these are? So, crazy ideas they have. With these ideas, without any process, any knowledge, they do whatever they think is sadhana. That will not lead you anywhere. So, what should you do? The first stage is satsanga. Tva is used in every word. Tva is a beautiful suffix which is used in Sanskrit. Tva. Tva is ness in English. Ness. Brotherlyhood or brotherness. So, that ness which refers to a class is Tva. And this Tva here is used in another sense. There is a beautiful sutra, Samanakartrikayoho Purvakale Tva. Samanakartrikayoho Purvakale Tva. You are doing 2-3 jobs. Kartrika, Samanakartrika means a single person is the doer. Single person is the doer of actions, different actions. So whatever is the past action done by that person, with that you add a Tva. Snatva bhuktva gacchati. Snatva after taking bath, bhuktva after eating, gacchati he goes. One who took bath is the one who ate, is the one who is going. So here satsangatva. First you perform the satsanga. What is satsanga? Satsanga is in association with the sadhus who believe, who know both. Who believe or who know the sat, existence, the truth. Satsanga means, sangha means association. Association with people who know sat or who believe in sat. Both can be accepted. So, that person who did satsanga, satsangatva. From that satsangatve means from that satsanga, what should he do? Nissangatvam. He should become non-associated. First, he should be associated with these sadhus. Later, he should not be associated with anyone. He should not be associated with anyone. From satsanga, one has to go to nissanga. If you don't do that, even great people like, see, there is a story we keep repeating. I keep repeating actually. There is this fellow called Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra was a great emperor. He had a fight with a rishi. Vashishta. He had a fight with a rishi. He wanted his Kamadhenu, his cow, which will give whatever you desire. He wanted that for his kingdom, and the rishi was not ready to give him. So he said, let me do tapas, great tapas, and gain more than what you have. So he gave up his kingdom at the ripe age of 75 plus and a kingdom to his son and went to the forest and started meditating. Who was he? He was a great big emperor. Emperor means he had all the pleasures of the world at his disposal. Okay, now he goes into the forest and he is doing tapas. And what happens there? It is said Indra sends this beautiful damsel called Urvashi. Urvashi is one of the damsels in the heaven, celestial beauties. And that celestial beauty is coming and dancing in front of who? This 75-old idiot. She has no job to dance in front of the 75-old person. What is that? It is pure hallucination. This fellow is used to these kind of things, and he is meditating and he sees open his eyes and he sees beautiful people. It is a hallucination, nothing but hallucination. It happened so. Another, this is not this kind of. One person, one sadhu, he went to Badrinath. He was doing this. Old person. He was praying that. And after coming out, he said, I had a great experience. He is supposed to be a Vedanti. Idiot. He comes out and he says, I had a great experience. What was your experience? I was praying to Lord Badrinath and suddenly he disappeared. I said, okay. Swami, take this. What is this? A toffee, chocolate. Why? Are we celebrating? No, your sugar level came down. You start looking and hallucinating things. First you eat this chocolate. This is all problem of sugar. It is not of Bhagavan. Either that is problem of sugar or problem of oxygen. Because in high altitudes you don't have oxygen. Less oxygen means your brain starts playing all games. People don't realize that. So you have to go to Nissanga to stay alone only after Satsanga. Don't do that before. Satsangatve Nissangatam. Only after Satsanga you have to go to Nissanga, being alone. Okay? Then Nissangatve Nirmohatvam. Nissangatve Nirmohatvam. From when you stay alone, Nirmoha means, moha means delusion. Moha means delusion. So you become delusionless. You become delusionless. So only after satsanga, if you follow this staying alone, you can become delusionless. Not in any other way. Satsanga, Nissanga, Nirmoha. Third stage. Okay. So what if I gain Nirmoha, delusionlessness? If you are deluded, you cannot stick to anything. You cannot focus on anything. If you are not deluded, then whatever you focus on, you will not lose that focus. Nischala tattva, you will be steadily established in that truth. Whatever you meditate upon. Here, satsanga, he is meditating upon the self, the truth. So, and he went to Nissanga. Nissanga, stay alone and meditate. And because of that, he becomes delusionless. And because of being delusionless, he is established in the truth. Nischala tattvam. In the tattva, in the truth, nischala. Chala means movement. Nischala means momentless. Means being established. Chala means to slip. Nischala means to not slip. Being established in the self. So, satsanga, nissanga, nirmoha, nischala. So what? I am established in the self. So what? That state of being established in the self is what is called as Jivan Mukti. Jivan Mukti means Jivan Eva Mukti iti Jivan Mukti. Being liberated. Mukti means liberated. Being liberated while alive. Jivan. While alive. Being liberated while alive is Jivan Mukti. So, from Satsanga, you go to Nissanga, to go to Nirmoha, to go to Nischala Tattva. That is what will take you to the Jivan Mukti. to become liberated while alive. While alive is a stupid way of saying, because we cannot understand anything else. Therefore, we have to say while alive. Because when there is liberation, this alive, dead, etc. don't have any relationship. What is liberation? Liberation means understanding the self. Understanding the self. How can that happen? When you understand everything else is illusion. So, when you understand the self, that very moment, this whole creation dissolves in the self. And whatever happens, happens as though in the self. It does not happen away from the self. It does not happen in the self, because if you accept it to happen in the self, then there is duality in the self. Not just duality, multiplicity. So it as though happens in the self. We have to understand that. It as though happens in the self. So for understanding that, for being established in that knowledge, the first stage we have to take is a satsanga. Being associated with sadhus. Being associated with the sadhus take you from somewhere to somewhere. Narada, we spoke about Narada in the first day, who was a Brahmarshi. Yesterday I told you about Narada and Valmiki. So that Brahmarshi, in his past life, what was he? He was a young boy who did nothing other than serving the sadhus who come there for Chaturmasya. Chaturmasya, the 4 months, they stay in one place and they give lectures. So he was listening to their lectures and he was serving them for that period. That's all. And that took him to a different level. Satsanga. So you can give so many instances. Ramana Maharshi says in a beautiful couplet, சாதுக்கள் சங்கமிருந்தால் வேதுக்கம்மாய்ந்த யோகமும் நியமமும் மேதக்க மாறுதுமை வீசும் பொழுது விசிகொண்டின் காரியம் நீ கூறு. When you are in association with the sadhus, why do you have to practice this yoga and niyama? Yama, niyama, etc. What is the use of yama, niyama when you are in association? Because these yama and niyama happen naturally when you are in front of the sadhu, when you are with the sadhu. The moment you are away from him, his association, your mind starts playing games. The yama and niyama gets disturbed. So, when you are with the sadhu, why do you need yama and niyama? It is natural. Like, so we have to give example for everything. Like what? So he gives an example. Like when the wind flows from the from a mountain which is abundant with fragrant trees, sandalwood, etc. When that wind which flows from that fragrant tree mountain, you are enjoying the smell and the wind. When that is there already, why do you need a fan? What is the use of a fan? So, when you have the association with the sadhus, you don't need anything else. When you have a beautiful wind, you don't need any external tool. So, that is the importance of satsanga. Satsanga transforms one to something else. Not making him a liberated one. By removing the ignorance, it transforms one to another, something else. So that is why he says, Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nismohatve nischaladatvam, nischaladatve jivan mukti. That is the idea here. And with that Kuru Sat Buddhim is beautifully explained. Again, Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan muktihi. One more. सत्संगत्वे निस्संगत्वं निस्संगत्वे निर्मोहत्वं निर्मोहत्वे निश्चलतत्वं निश्चलतत्वे जीवन्मुक्तिः अगेन सत्संगत्वे निस्संगत्वं निस्संगत्वे निर्मोहत्वं निर्मोहत्वे निश्चलतत्वं निश्चलतत्वे जीवन्मुक्तिः ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति शांति शांति